All the siblings travel to a forest region to enjoy their vacation, unaware that people have been mysteriously and brutally killed there for some time. In fact, this dangerous presence has even reached those whose lives had just begun. The story opens with a dense forest where a terrified girl is seen running deeper inside, constantly looking back as if someone is chasing her. Her facial expressions clearly suggest that something extremely dangerous, possibly a wild creature, is after her and would kill her instantly if it caught her. Suddenly, her leg gets trapped in a snare and she falls to the ground, losing consciousness for a while. When she wakes up, a horrifying sight appears in front of her, a man's dead body hanging from a tree, with several of his body parts missing. Who is behind these brutal acts is not revealed, but whoever it is starts dragging the girl away from behind. In the next scene, a group of cousins is shown driving toward their vacation spot. Among them are Mina and Roger as a couple, along with their cousins. Mina's cousin is Handy, and Roger's cousin is Mian, while the others sit in the back enjoying themselves, believing this will be their best vacation ever. Roger knows a specific spot deep in the forest and drives them there, a place with large ponds and dense woods perfect for camping, with all supplies already packed. It is revealed that Mina and Roger's relationship is strained, with frequent arguments, and Mina hopes this trip will help bring them closer. While driving, Mina tries to turn on the radio, but Roger stops her, saying signals do not work in such areas and repeatedly pressing the buttons could damage it. Mina feels uneasy and starts sensing that Roger is emotionally distancing himself from her. After a while, they stop the car for a short break, and Mina walks a little away to use the restroom. Suddenly, she feels like someone is following her, noticing movement in the bushes and hearing footsteps. Despite shouting and looking around, no one appears, leaving her terrified, so she quickly returns to the others. She tries to tell Roger, but he dismisses it, saying it must have been a wild animal and there is no need to worry. Mina gets upset and they continue their journey. Soon, they stop at a fuel station to refill, where Roger and Handy stay busy while Mina and Mian go to the restroom. Inside, they notice extreme filth and poor hygiene, and nearby they see a man sitting with his head down, emitting a strong foul smell, as if he has been drinking heavily. When Mina calls out to him, he does not respond, and as she tries to touch him, he suddenly jumps up and attacks her violently. Fortunately, Mian intervenes and shouts at him to leave, and both women scream, frightening the man and forcing him to run away. Mina is clearly shaken, and Mian comforts her while asking about her relationship with Roger. Seeing Mina's expression, Mian advises her not to give up and to keep trying, saying that if Roger still does not respond, then he is not worth it, almost as if she is turning Mina against her own brother, possibly with some hidden motive. After freshening up, Mina and Mian return to the restaurant area where everyone is seated, when suddenly something falls to the ground and a stranger assumes it belongs to Mina. He grabs her hand and tells her she dropped something, an action witnessed by Roger and Handy. Roger becomes angry seeing a stranger touch his girlfriend and immediately stands up, yelling at the man, and even after Mina and Mian return to their table, the argument between Roger and the unknown man continues, with the stranger shouting back aggressively. It looks like the stranger was about to start a fight with Roger, creating a tense, heated moment between them, but just as they moved closer to each other, the restaurant owner stepped in and calmed them down, making it clear that she did not want any fights in her restaurant and even pointed them toward the exit. Both men eventually sat down quietly without saying anything. Suddenly, all four cousins noticed a woman at another table who had accidentally dropped her cup and seemed extremely panicked, drawing everyone's attention. During casual conversation, Handy and Mian started teasing Roger, which upset him, so he angrily walked outside. Mina immediately followed him, trying to calm him down, hugging him and reminding him that they were there to enjoy themselves and that once they reached their destination, they would have a great time. Roger seemed to understand and came back inside with her. By then it was already late, and they needed to leave, but unexpectedly the same unknown woman approached Roger and asked for a ride, saying she was headed to the same place. Roger, unable to refuse such a beautiful stranger, invited her to join them, and she agreed. When Roger told Mina and the other two cousins about it, they were completely shocked because the woman was a total stranger and giving rides to unknown people was unsafe, but since Roger had already promised her, they decided to take her along. As they walked toward the car, the woman noticed a jeep parked nearby and suddenly became very frightened, quickly rushing into Roger's car. When Mina asked where exactly she wanted to go, the woman only replied that they could take her anywhere as long as they did not bring her back there, which made everyone suspicious. Still, they did not drop her off and continued driving. Once they entered the forest area, the woman looked back and saw the same mysterious jeep following them. Terrified, she begged them to stop the car, claiming she felt sick and needed to throw up. When Roger stopped, she got out and vomited heavily. The others asked what was wrong and why she was so afraid of the jeep, but strangely, the jeep had suddenly disappeared, leaving no one knowing who was inside or what their intentions were. This made Mina start doubting Roger, accusing him of deliberately bringing the woman along so he could later get rid of the others and start a relationship with her. Roger became furious at this accusation, insisting he only wanted to help the woman. Roger's cousin Mian also got angry, stepped out of the car, and took the keys, irritated by how Roger treated Mina without respect. When Roger came out and demanded the keys back, Mian refused and, out of anger, threw them into the bushes just to teach him a lesson, while Roger's frustration was clearly visible on his face. Without saying a word, Roger goes into the bushes to look for the car keys. Meanwhile, when Handy and Mian question the woman, she slowly becomes more comfortable and reveals that some people are after her and have kidnapped her husband, taking him into the forest and never returning. Handy clearly suggests that they should go to the police station, believing that if they inform the officers, the kidnappers will be arrested. Before they can do anything, 3 men suddenly appear with shotguns in their hands and capture everyone. These are the same men from the jeep, and they treat the group brutally. As soon as the woman sees them, she panics and tries to run, but before she can escape, one of the men calmly pulls out his shotgun and shoots her without hesitation, killing her on the spot. Mian, who is completely unaware of the danger, rushes toward the body and screams at the men, asking what they are doing. One of the men, showing no mercy, shoots Mian in the leg, severing it instantly, then immediately grabs a sharp knife and slashes her throat, killing her there. The remaining Mina and Roger are knocked unconscious and taken deep into the forest by the 3 men, who seem to treat killing as a game. They also capture Roger, tie everyone's hands and feet, and drag them even further inside. After a long time, Roger regains consciousness and realizes one of his hands has come loose. He frees himself and quickly unties Mina and Handy as well. All 3 are in shock over what happened, especially after witnessing the brutal death of Roger's cousin Mian. Confused and terrified, they have no idea what to do next, but Roger urges Mina and Handy to escape immediately. As they try to flee, the forest stretches endlessly around them, making it impossible to know which path is right. Suddenly, they notice a man hanging from a tree and assume he is dead, so they approach him. The shocking truth is that he is still alive, and he is the same man shown hanging at the beginning of the story. It seems the dangerous men kept him there to lure others. Roger, Handy, and Mina manage to pull the injured man down and discover that his tongue has been cut out and lies on the ground. He is in such intense pain that he cannot even express it. Roger and Handy try asking him questions, but suddenly a siren starts blaring, echoing through the forest as a warning of danger. The injured man understands what it means and urgently tells them to run because the men will be arriving soon. Mina, Handy, and Roger lift him up and move forward together, but in the dense forest they cannot figure out the right direction and keep moving wherever they can. The sound of rustling bushes follows them, making it clear that someone is chasing them. Eventually, they reach a dead end where a deep ravine blocks their path, making it impossible to go down safely. The injured man grows weaker and sits down, repeatedly telling them to run because the others will be there any moment. Roger becomes the most terrified among them and insists that they must go down immediately no matter what, but Handy clearly responds that they have an injured man with them and cannot carry him such a long distance. Roger stubbornly argues that they should leave the injured man behind, save themselves first, and then come back with help, which angers Handy because he sees Roger's complete lack of humanity and selfishness. Roger even tries to convince Mina to go with him, but she chooses to stay with Handy to help the stranger, leaving Roger rejected from every side, even by his own girlfriend. With no options left, Roger runs alone toward the slope, leaving Mina and Handy behind. Soon after, Roger hears strange sounds, looks around, and is suddenly grabbed from behind as someone covers his mouth and drags him away, though it is unclear who it was. When Roger does not return for a long time, Mina becomes extremely worried despite everything, because he is still her boyfriend. She tells Handy that they need to find Roger, but Handy bluntly explains that Roger is gone and will never come back for them, and that it would be better for her to erase him from her mind. Mina breaks down crying as they still cannot find any way out. Suddenly, they hear the sound of someone running, and a man holding a shotgun appears, moving toward them to capture them. The injured man signals that they must leave immediately, and Mina and Handy lift him up and start moving, knowing it is dangerous to stay in one place. The armed man chasing them fires a shot that hits the injured man, and unable to help him, Mina and Handy are forced to move forward as he is left behind. The situation becomes unimaginably horrifying as Mina and Handy run only to save their own lives. Inside the forest, Roger is shown regaining consciousness after being knocked out and dumped somewhere deep in the woods, leaving him confused as he tries to escape. Meanwhile, Mina and Handy spot another armed man and hide inside a corner cave. Mina, crying uncontrollably, begs Handy that they must find Roger and that he might still be alive, but Handy covers her mouth and warns her to stay silent, saying Roger is gone and they will both be killed if the men discover them. Above them, the same armed man is seen bringing the dead body of the injured man and brutally tearing open his stomach, suggesting that the killers intend to do something horrific with their victims' bodies. Mina and Handy remain hidden without making a sound, hoping the man will not see them, but shockingly, he notices them and knows they are hiding there, yet for the moment he leaves with the dead body without harming them. It feels like he is playing a twisted game with them as Mina and Handy somehow manage to escape and keep moving forward. In a situation like this, where attackers are armed with shotguns and sharp knives and are actively trying to kill you, the question becomes how to survive against such dangerous people. To understand that, the first thing is knowing how a shotgun works. A shotgun is designed for close-range attacks, which is why it is most deadly up close, so the safest strategy is to create distance. Even if a shot is fired from far away, it is far less effective than at close range. Another crucial rule is constant movement. Running in a zigzag pattern can throw off even a skilled hunter's aim. Taking cover behind thick tree trunks is also effective because bullets cannot penetrate them easily. When it comes to defending against a knife attack, the goal should be to strike the attacker's biceps, which can shock them and cause the knife to drop. If that is not possible, targeting the attacker's main weak points becomes the only option, especially the most sensitive area of the male body, which can incapacitate him long enough to create a chance to escape. Unfortunately, Mina and Handy are unable to think through any of this as three unknown men continue hunting them. Mina and Handy are shown running desperately, with one armed man right on their trail, until the chaos forces them to split up, sending Mina and Handy in different directions. The attacker seems more interested in Handy, letting Mina go and capturing him instead, though Mina is still not safe and keeps running. After traveling for some time, Mina sees another man holding Roger captive, tied tightly to a tree with a knife pressed against his throat. Unaware of the danger, Mina approaches, only to be caught as well. The man now holds a knife to both Mina and Roger, unable to decide whom to kill first, with both of their lives hanging in the balance, while Mina still deeply loves Roger. That is why Mina says they should kill her and let Roger go, believing he only thinks about himself and that freeing him is the right choice. The killer quickly realizes that Roger has no real interest in the relationship, so he decides to kill Roger first. At that moment, Mina gets her chance and immediately pulls a knife from the man's waist and stabs him in the body. He is badly wounded and collapses to the ground but is still alive, so Mina keeps pushing the knife deeper to cause more damage, and after struggling for a while, he finally dies. The problem is that another member of the group is already approaching with a gun and has started firing. Mina tries to free her boyfriend using the knife, but it is already too late and the man is very close, so she grabs the knife and runs. By now, she seems to realize that Roger is not worth it. When the second man arrives and sees his partner dead, he is consumed by rage, pulls out his knife, and kills the helpless, tied-up Roger without hesitation, ending his life at a young age. Enraged, the man then chases Mina, determined to kill her as well. Exhausted, Mina hides behind bushes, hoping the remaining members will not find her, but while running in fear, she stumbles into an open area filled with tents and scattered plates, making it clear that these people kill and eat their victims, revealing them to be cannibals. If Mina is caught here, she will be killed and eaten, so she quickly hides inside a tent where several dead bodies are stored, lying among them and covering herself with cloth, hoping she will not be recognized. This turns out to be a risky mistake, but fortunately, Mina finds a shotgun inside the tent and decides to use it for protection. As an elderly member enters the tent holding a gun, Mina seizes the moment and shoots him, killing him instantly, meaning 2 of the 3 attackers are now dead. The last remaining member arrives and immediately tries to attack Mina. Mina fires the shotgun but does not know how to reload it properly, even though reloading a shotgun is actually very simple, as it has a pump lever that just needs to be pulled back and pushed forward to load the next round, something Mina has no idea about. The last remaining attacker immediately grabs her and presses the gun against her throat, making it seem like this will be the end for her, but she notices a knife on the ground, quickly picks it up, and stabs him in the leg. The man collapses in extreme pain, giving Mina the chance to escape, and she does not stop for even a second, running deep into the forest, too terrified to ever look back. However, the attacker is not dead yet, meaning Mina is still not safe and must get out of the forest as soon as possible. While running, Mina reaches the place where the members have tied up her brother Handy to a tree. Terrified but determined, she knows she must save him at any cost because her friend Mian and her boyfriend Roger are already dead. As she struggles to untie Handy, she hears footsteps again, realizing the same surviving member has tracked her down. She moves aside and luckily finds a bow and arrow, and when she notices that the man is not paying attention to her, she takes a perfect shot, striking him directly in the body and knocking him to the ground in agony. Mina approaches carefully to make sure he is dead, knowing that if he survives, her life will still be in danger. As she quietly reaches him, she realizes he is still alive and had been waiting for her to come closer. Holding a knife, he suddenly stabs Mina in the stomach, causing her intense pain, but she refuses to give up and strikes back by forcefully pushing the arrow already embedded in his body even deeper. The pain becomes unbearable for him, and the arrow pierces straight through his body, critically wounding him. The injured man continues to writhe in unbearable pain before finally dying on the spot, while Mina herself is suffering from a deep wound in her stomach that makes every step agonizing. Still, driven by desperation and fear, she forces herself to keep moving through the forest until she finally reaches her brother Handy. Seeing him tied up fills her with hope, and she immediately starts trying to free him, determined to save at least one person she loves. However, the ropes wrapped around Handy's body are arranged in a strange, almost puzzle-like manner, and no matter how closely she looks, Mina cannot figure out how to untie them. Panic begins to take over as she keeps pulling, twisting, and tugging at the bindings, her hands shaking and her mind racing. In the middle of this frantic struggle, she accidentally lifts a small wooden piece connected to the trap. The moment it moves, a hidden mechanism is triggered, and Mina hears a sudden metallic sound followed by disturbing movement around them. Before she can even react, a sharp axe concealed above swings down violently and strikes Handy. Mina stands frozen in horror as she realizes that the blow has killed her brother instantly. In that terrifying moment, she understands that this was a carefully designed death trap, and Handy dies right in front of her eyes while she is left helpless, screaming inside but unable to do anything to save him. It turns out to be a complete trap designed by those same people, and right in front of her eyes, Mina watches her brother die while she is completely powerless to save him. Everyone who came with her has already been killed, leaving Mina as the only survivor. Terrified and alone, she immediately runs off to find help as fast as she can. After some time, she reaches a roadway and begins desperately waving at every vehicle that passes by. By sheer luck, a small car finally stops when Mina calls out for help. She soon realizes that the driver is none other than the woman from the restaurant who earlier had tried to stop Roger from getting into a fight. The woman quickly lets Mina into the car and starts driving away. When she asks what happened, Mina nervously explains that 3 local people attacked them, the same individuals they had encountered at the restaurant. She tells her that those men killed all of her friends and that they were cannibals who prey on humans, though Mina somehow managed to kill all 3 of them in order to survive. The moment Mina reveals this, the old woman's expression suddenly changes, filling with rage, as if the 3 attackers were closely connected to her. She begins driving in a cold, serious manner, making Mina sense that something is terribly wrong. A growing fear takes over Mina as she realizes the old woman may be involved with those attackers. Quietly, she tries to escape the car without being noticed, but soon discovers that all the doors are locked. It becomes painfully clear that the old woman has no intention of letting Mina go, because it is obvious that the 3 attackers Mina killed were members of her family, and they are all cannibals who hunt and murder innocent tourists. They target tourists who wander into this region, hunt them down, and brutally kill them, turning this forest into a silent death zone that no one escapes easily. Whether Mina survives after realizing the terrifying truth about the old woman and her connection to the cannibal family is never revealed, deliberately leaving her fate unknown and the story suspended in pure horror and suspense. This unanswered question forces viewers to imagine the worst and keeps the fear lingering even after the story ends.